Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this July the 17th, 2025 cryptocurrency early morning update here. The Ethereum or the XRP ETF has been approved. Key factors: NY, NASDAQ, the Dow Jones Industrial has approved ProShares Ultra XRP ETF UXRP for trading soon. Mark 3IQ XRP ETF on the TSX exceeded 50 million on that exchange in assets, right? On that ETF, but there has been one approved in the United States. And you can see XRP is at a 9-month high and about to take out the Donald Trump high that it had. And if we take a look at the XRP price, it's up 6.11% today. It has reclaimed and taken over now that $3.02. And now it's going to look to hold that as support. And if we put a support line in there, you can see the $3.02 right there. It's going to look to hold that now as support. And as we did have last Friday when we were over in here on that video at noon, we put in our bullish and bearish consolidations in green, and the bearish would have been in red. You can see we just continued to the upside. And now what you're going to look for in any kind of retest is this $3.03 is your new major support level, followed by the 256 to the downside. And on the upside, your major upper resistance is that swing high from back here in early, what is that, December, January at $3.40. That's what you're trying to take out right now. And you got your two major underneath support levels, the 256 clone and the $3.04. And what the ETF approved, $3.76 could be your next move. And then just like the track show, like we've been emphasizing, late 2026. I thought it would take a little bit longer this year, but maybe this is in fact the start, or this is just one massive fake out. But I have been talking about and touting late 2026 into 2027. You could have a $5 to potentially $12 blow off on game bull market of this stage of the bull market going into the end of 2026, right? But maybe we're starting it sooner based on this recent pump, and only time will tell and see if the additional momentum continues as that ETF inflow starts to take place. You can see algo is sitting up here. It pumped off of, we had our bullish and bearish consolidations on this. It's so far just consolidated up with the falling price. On your upside target is 36 cents. Your downside target, if it falls, would be the bottom part of this trading zone, and that is your bullish setup. As long as you're above that 24 cents, you're short-term bullish. If you get below that 24 cents, you get short-term bearish, and you can trade back down into these underneath moving averages, which you're about to have a bullish cross on. So that 24 cents is a major support structure. Uh, where's AMP at? Hold on, we need to find AMP so I don't forget. Oh, AMP is up here. I moved it. You can see AMP 2, we're very bullish on. I do now have just over 1 million coins. We did purchase our final buy on this, and hopefully it pays off. Down here, we picked up 500 more yesterday down in there. We picked up a couple more back here last week, and then we bought more right there. Did I time the bottom? No, right? The bottom was a little bit lower, but I waited for a support structure to hold. And now we're playing the return rally, and what you're going to look at now as we have just over 1 million coins, right? We're going to look to reclaim now, which you're getting rejected on, which we have been talking about. When you started to force your way up in AMP, we held the support, work your way to the 50, hold it, use the 100 as resistance, work your way over the 100, use the 200 as resistance, but use the 100 as support, and continue the trend until you breach the 200-day moving average in the daily time frame and this 0.00481. And then your upside target on breakout, a quick upside target would be an 80% move from the current price. You're all the way back up here to 0.00748, and then potentially all the way up on a clone to retest the pattern resistance up here at the point. What would that be? Ooh, that's too dark. The 0.0135, and that's been your major upper resistance for the last year and a half, ever since you have this big pump, right? You about 4x move. Now we've been in this consolidation. I think we're coming back up here in a tightening form. And I think eventually we're going to break to the top side of this. And I think we're going to attack, before too much longer, I think we're going to attack the the 2 cent level, right? So that is something that I'm paying attention for, to break out of the 1 cent level and to make maybe a run at the 2 cent level. But from the current price, if we get this kind of follow through that I'm anticipating, you would be seeing a 93% move to there, to potentially as high on a breakout 270%, and then potentially 470% if you got to the 2.5 cent level. But this is still something we're following. I think this is great pattern recognition. What we have here, I think we're in there, and I think we're about to shoot up over the next several weeks. And I will continue to be patient on the AMP. If we look at the Bitcoin price, you can see it's consolidating after its new all-time high. And something that's phenomenally exciting is, look what we have here. We have our track here that we've highlighted because it's been the one that's been on the most par. But after it came up, look at this consolidation. We had about a 14 to 18-day consolidation there. And that's exactly what the Bitcoin price is doing. And if this does break to the upside, you can see our upside target would be met at the top of this rising channel at nearly 156. $154,000 on a massive pump, followed by what would be a topping out short-term pattern, if that track is to be believed there, as it's been very consistent and been out ahead of the other tracks that did show what I thought would happen, a retest of lower support. But the pump has continued with all the momentum from the institutional buying of the ETFs and of the taking the strategies playbook of converting their notes of their shares and borrowing against them, and buying Bitcoin, right? So we got that going on there. The Ethereum price, we do know we did hit that $3,400 target. Now we're having a retest, which is to be expected because it's the top part of this trading zone. But if we zoom into the 2 hour time frame, you can see this initial rejection looks awfully familiar to this initial rejection down here. See that initial rejection before you fired straight through and went up nearly $500. You can see we've had that rejection again. If you bust through here, your next upside target is $4,000, all the way up here, right about exactly at the $4,000. And that would be a, from the breakout point, another almost 16% in the Ethereum price. On any kind of over exuberant correction, your major underneath support now is the 3,074.29 and change, right? Like the channel, subscribe. I just wanted to give you this quick update. Peace and the website, JE.